For this one, we'll talk about the trailer first for Megalopolis, and then we'll get into the lovely news of Francis Ford Coppola. So Megalopolis is Francis Ford Coppola's baby, so to speak. He's been working on it for ages. It stars Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, and Shia LaBeouf. It's going to show at Cannes Festival tomorrow, or probably, actually not tomorrow, probably Saturday for us, on the 17th of May for you guys. And it's going to release sometime in 2024. So, James, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Well, yeah, personally, I love the trailer. It's a little bit of an extension of what we saw in that first look that we covered a few weeks ago. It basically just is the same thoughts that I had when I watched that first look. You know, visually, this movie is going to be so impressive. If it is going to be on the IMAX screens, then I'm going to be there because I want to see something like this in IMAX. The visuals look really, really great. You know, just it's a really good mixture of, at least VFX wise, something that's pretty impressive based on the trailer. Who knows what the final product's going to be like, but also, you know, the cinematography, the lighting, just there's so many kind of, you know, styles and aesthetics that are in here. But yeah, from a really polished director, Francis Ford Coppola, he knows what he's doing, at least on the technical side of things. So I know we're going to be in for a treat for that. I'm very, very curious to see what the reception is coming out of Cannes Film Festival. You know, we've heard whispers here and there about what this movie's like, and it sounds like it's going to be a divisive one. Some are going to love it, some are going to hate it. As for what I'm getting, I guess, narratively from these looks is that, you know, New York's on the brink of destruction. Shout out Civil War. It's very similar in that sense. And it's just kind of like the Western society, the ultimate pinnacle, which is kind of New York City of Western society. It's just going downhill. And, you know, you got this architect here who's trying to reinvent the wheel and, I guess, create a better future, something along those lines. But in terms of that concept, I think it can be quite a timely movie, and you know, it might actually be something that's quite thought-provoking. I think we're seeing a lot of things, you know, happen in the world these days where you kind of get a little bit worried about where the future's going for, you know, a lot of countries and cities and all that stuff. So it may be timely. Some quite powerful themes might be in it, but who knows? We're going to cover some details very shortly about what happened on set for this movie, and that kind of gets me a little bit worried. I'm more worried that this film's not going to be able to find a distributor because of what we're about to talk about soon. But anyway, you've seen the trailer as well. What do you think about it?
Same thoughts as yours. I think it's like going to be a technical masterpiece, and I think this year is really, really stacked for that already. I mean, we had Dune, Furiosa comes out shortly, and we all know if it's anything like Fury Road, then we'll get a lot of technical awards as well, and this as well. So that's if this ends up releasing this year, if we can find something. So I think this year's technical categories for Oscars is going to be really, really interesting.
For sure.
Who comes out on top. I'm pretty much the same with you on the story front. It didn't really give away that much in terms of the story. It just gave away like a brief synopsis. Like you said, there could be more to it than meets the eyes. You know, there could be a whole deeper theme, or it could literally just be that. But all we know is that Adam Driver's a really fantastic actor, and I think he'll be a shining light in this for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the way this is going to go down in terms of the themes and messaging of the movie, I think it's just going to be super subtle, where it's almost like experimental. It's got that experimental feeling to it, where you kind of don't get it, and there's not enough material for you to really dig deeper. And I think that's where the divisive nature of this movie is going to come. But in terms of what you're talking about, technicals, if we were to end the year now and Best Cinematography nominees were Dune Part 2, Challenges, Civil War, Furiosa, and Megalopolis, I couldn't even be mad. And that's only the 5 movies that we've kind of like seen bits of this year. Yeah. So already it's stacked. Yeah, a lot of competition moving forward.
For sure. All right, we'll get into the second part of this segment, which is Francis Ford Coppola. He has been making the headlines for all the negative reasons, you know. This is from cast members on the... Whoops, I swiped my screen away a little bit. This is from cast members of the film. So I'm going to read out all of these
allegations.
Allegations.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's accusations
yeah.
or allegations against him, and we'll discuss. So FFC, Francis Ford Coppola, he's too long to say, so I'm going to refer him as FFC from now on. Allegedly, he smoked weed on set and would often sit in his trailer for hours smoking marijuana, and hours would go by without filming taking place. FFC would pull women onto his lap, and this is extras by the way, and try to kiss his female co-stars, which is the extras, when filming a nightclub scene. His justification for this was to try to get them in the mood. Apparently Megalopolis was written around 300 times over the years. Crew members said it was like watching a train wreck unfold day after day, week after week, and knowing that everybody there had to try their hardest to help the train wreck be avoided. Most of the visual effects team were fired or quit halfway through filming, and it's reported that he reportedly ditched the volume filming for more traditional screen. I'm not a tech savvy guy, so I'm not 100% sure what that means. But the comment was, his dig at us was always, I don't want to make a Marvel movie. But at the end of the day, that's what he ended up shooting. So James, all of these allegations, nothing positive. What is, I think I might know what the main takeaway here is, but what's the main takeaway and what do you think of these allegations against him?
Yikes. First of all, let's make sure that we clarify that these are just allegations. I saw that an assistant producer came out and said, I've heard nothing of this, and then he's been working with him for 35 years, so who knows? It's kind of just, he said, she said. I'm sure we're going to get more information coming out ahead of the release of this movie. I don't think at this point a distributor is going to pick it up with a film that has so much heat on it, alongside all the financial components which already make this film a disadvantage in itself. No studio is going to want to pick up a movie with controversy behind it, like The Flash. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, like Warner Brothers. Well, okay. He's smoking weed on set, and would sit in his trailer for hours. I mean, it can create a little creativity vibe.
When I read that, I just thought of Quentin Tarantino automatically. I was like, that is something Tarantino would fully do, except instead of by himself, you're like, get the whole cast and crew in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's I don't think might not be a detriment to the thing, but I guess you're kind of wasting everyone else's time by just chilling out and smoking marijuana. The thing that is obviously the biggest negative is pulling women onto his lap, kissing other females who I believe were topless at the time, just to try and get them on the mood. One thing I will say is that I did hear that he would kiss people on the cheek, like women on the cheek, and that is an Italian culture thing. That's what they do. It means that they're friends. So it could just be a massive misunderstanding on that part. I have no clue. I was not there. I'm just suggesting that could be a part of the equation. But yeah, from what it sounds like in terms of the allegations is terrible. And to get them in the mood is really not... I mean, this guy's 85. He was born in the 1930s, It's not the way to get them into the mood. It's all about the aesthetic and the environment and the intimacy that he can create as a director, pulling all those pieces together to try and get them into the mood for whatever nightclub scene we're talking about here. And yeah, it doesn't sound like a good experience for any crew member beyond Francis Ford Coppola. But I will say that the look and feel of this movie does not align with a production that went through absolute hell. I'll just say that. Most of the time when you hear about these movies that go through a lot of production issues, you can get a good feel of that through the promotional material prior to the release. And yeah, regarding the volume filming thing, that's like stuff that Mandalorian does with those LED screens and stuff. Yeah. And so he's just gone for green screen here. So I guess that's fine if that's what he wants to do. That's okay. I'm not going to be mad at that. But yeah, a lot of controversy. Movie doesn't look like it. But hey, I'm still excited. I will just have to see. We need more information to come out before I can, just go full on hate mode to this movie.
Yeah, for sure. Like, whenever like a film has this sort of criticism, you can see it reflected in the final product. Like The Flash and Aquaman, like you can clearly see that there's on-set issues and the way visuals looked ended up being, and like the performances cast members were doing. But based on the trailers alone, this looks like as if the visual effects team worked, wanted to work more, didn't get fired or quit, like they were all hands on deck for this one. So
Yeah.
that's really, really surprising to hear. You're completely right. The woman and the extras one is probably the main one that people would take away from this.
Yeah.
And rightly slow. But as you said, we can't really... This is all just allegations at this stage. Nothing is confirmed. Or these comments could have just been taken way out of proportion. And the reporters just, do what journalists do and...
Run with it, eh? Yeah.
Yep, and a headline's a headline, So yeah, I guess you're right, we have to wait for more information to come out before we can properly comment on whether FFC is the next Harvey Weinstein or if he's all good.
Gosh, don't put that out there, please.
All right, that's my cue to move on, so we will.
Exactly.